Hi everyone, Alex here. Continue with our Revit Multi-trade course from 0 to 100. Today we're going to do some roof structure tweaks. Particularly, we're going to focus on some diagonal slope members, commonly referred to as valley rafters, because they're rafters and they're located in a valley. So we're going to do this one, we're going to do this one, and then we're going to jump to the kitchen and we're going to do this one and this one. And then we're going to do some common rafters that are going to meet onto the valley rafters. Let's get started. Now remember, this video is part of a full course, so if you haven't watched the previous videos, go ahead and watch them now. By now, most of you know that I suffer a horrible data loss. It was easily 1,000 hours of hard work, pretty much 100 hours of video content, so it was pretty tough. Still recovering from that. I even thought about stopping and not making any more videos, but I decided that the content is valuable and I'm going to keep going. I am going to slow down a little bit on YouTube though. But if you are one of those who are following the course, I don't want you to have to slow down with me. So I remind you that this content is available completely free at BIMitUp.com. You can sign up for free. And this course, as of now, as of December 2025, is still free. It's not going to be free forever, but for now it's free. So if you want to follow the content over there and finish the course over there, you're more than welcome. In the meantime, I'll leave you with this video.
Hi everyone, this is Alex with BIMitUp, where we help you with professional training and coaching in mechanical, electrical, plumbing, fire protection systems, and Autodesk platforms like Revit and AutoCAD MEP. Let's get started. And again, I'm not really sure what's going on in this corner here because I don't have pictures of it, but in the meantime we're going to leave it like this. But what we can do is do a few structural members here in these diagonals to have them as a reference. For that we can come here to Structure, Beam. We can do, let's do a 2x6. And let's pick lines. We can pick this line. We can pick this line and pick this line. And then what we can do on the top view, we can extend that all the way to here. And then this one, we can shrink all the way to here. And then this one, we can shrink all the way to here. Then we can go to our 3D view, and then from here we can spot some elevation, so we incline those. This one, for example, right? I would want this guy and this guy to meet here. So what do we want to do? Well, we want to know this bottom elevation, so annotate, spot elevation, and then this one is about 11.6.5, more or less, right? So we can click here, and then that elevation was 11.6.5, but from our main floor. But our roof level is 9 feet. So those 11.6.5, we have to subtract 9 feet. So it's really 2.6.5. So let's click here, and now this is 2 feet and 6.5 inches. Then we want to do the same thing with this one. Let's grab Control C, and then to this one we can paste it here. It will be detached from its associated plane, that's fine. And now for this one is a little bit different because this one we want it to be at this elevation. So let's get that spot elevation for here. It's about 11.1.5 more or less. So we can click here, and then that 11.1.5 was measured from our main floor, but we have to subtract 9, so it's actually 2.1.5. So start elevation 2.1.5. Yeah, that's detached, that's fine. Now we want to shorten it up a little bit, maybe to here. That looks a lot better. I know that's just a starting point. Eventually, in reality, the structural engineer will cope all this framing depending on how he wants to frame that. For now, we just want to have an idea more or less. We can do something similar here. So we can go to roof framing again. And then we can go to structure, beam. We have our 2x6 selected. Pick lines. We can pick on this line. We can pick on this line. We can extend this guy all the way to here. And we can shrink this one all the way to here. And you know, you could cope this if you want to get fancy, but I just want to have an idea. So here, this one, I'm going to shrink all the way to the beam. Take a look at our 3D view. We want this guy to be high. How high? Well, as high as this one. So let's get our spot elevation here. And it's 10, almost 10.9. So we can use 10.9. So let's just click here. And then 10.9. Oh, but that was 10.9 from our main floor, not from the roof. So remember, we have to subtract 9. So this is actually 1.9. That's much better. And now we do 1.9 here as well. But this one's the start. So 1.9. Very good. You know, we could come to the roof framing plan, and we could click here, and we could ungroup it and just get the truss itself, because we're going to be modifying this, guys, and then just copy like 16 inches and then 16 more inches, and then we'll see how we couple this later. But at least they are not attached to this, guys, which are all the same, you know. I think this beam here goes all the way to here, same as this one. I don't have the pictures to prove it, but that's what I believe. Now what we can do is take advantage that we have this beam system here, and then we could mirror it using the pick axis tool. And then we could mirror based on the middle of the ridge. And then even though these are too long, at least we have a starting point, right? So let's take a look. If we go to 3D, that's not bad at all, right? That's this guy's here. But obviously they're too long, so we have to edit that. So we can click on the beam system, go to the roof framing plan, go edit boundary, and then we could pick lines. We could pick this guy and this guy, and then trim TR from here to here, and from here to here. And then I want to delete this line so it's a closed loop. Then hit OK. And for some reason it's not trimming it, so I'm going to have to go individually. I think I had unpinned them previously, so we need to shrink them manually from here to here. Same as this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. See, and for some reason now is identifying it. Anyway, the important thing is that we got it. And then again, the structural engineer will cope this depending on what he's looking for.